It's natural to change teams in any sport, but it's always bad to see a relationship sour. While that's not quite the case for Fernando Alonso, he still feels unappreciated by Alpine, and that's led to him taking a well-timed deal with Aston Martin to replace Sebastian Vettel after retirement. In this video, we'll be taking a look at Fernando Alonso's departure from Alpine, so stay tuned. First off, people are coming up with Alpine conspiracy theories. It's been a weird turn of events, and people are wondering whether it really was just a coincidence or is something else behind the Alpine's bad luck. They're coming up with rather crazy theories centering around an Alpine member who very recently announced his departure. Fernando Alonso, on the other hand, has denied any such involvement in conspiring to sabotage Alpine. He insisted that he had nothing to do with Oscar Piastri refusing to drive for the team next season. Alonso definitely surprised a lot of people at the beginning of August when he announced that he'd be leaving Alpine at the end of this season and replacing Sebastian Vettel at Aston Martin, who will have probably retired by then. This somehow triggered a dramatic driver transfer saga that'll continue to unfold as the sport resumes at this weekend's Belgian Grand Prix after a summer break. Alpine, of course, announced that in Alonso's absence, their current reserve driver will fill his seat in 2023, but the 21-year-old had other plans and responded by saying that this won't be the case. This led to people speculating that Alonso and his manager, Flavio Briatore, were already aware of the Australian's intentions. McLaren has already announced Daniel Ricciardo's departure, and in many eyes, this has all but confirmed that the team has a deal with Piastri to take his place. Alpine is denying this, adamant that they have a contract for dictating the 21-year-old will stay. Next up, Fernando denied any involvement in the Oscar matter. Alonso was asked about the conspiracy theories and the involvement of his manager in them. He immediately said that wasn't the case. He said that he'd read the rumors going around in the first days and had been quite disheartened to read that conspiracy, because not only had he made the decision himself, but he had also explained the reason behind it. He said that for some months now, he's been talking with Alpine about extending his contract, but no matter what they talked about, no official action was taken. And just then, Aston came to him after Vettel retired. If the racer hadn't decided to retire, none of it would have happened. But it did, and the move to Aston was a very clear and easy decision for Alonso. Alonso mentioned that whatever happened after what's going on with Oscar right now has absolutely nothing to do with him, and he hoped to stay out of this. While speaking to Sky Sports F1, Alonso elaborated on exactly why he had decided to leave his former team and how the actions of the people around him had affected his feelings. Thirdly, Fernando explained why he left Alpine. He explained that he'd left Alpine because he felt that the team treated him unfairly due to his age. Hearing this, he was asked if there was a lack of support, to which he answered that there was. He said that he always tried to perform his best. Every weekend from the second he was on the track to the second he crossed the finish line, the race had all of his focus. These 2 years he joined the team after his hiatus was a part of an incredible journey, and the time he's spent with the team has helped him grow up a lot. Still, he was judged a lot. Alonso mentioned that every year he had to be re-evaluated because he was above 40. Teams besides Alpine's, on the other hand, he realized seemed to think differently. They had trust in his ability and thought of him as a formidable enemy and good ally. This was more than enough for Alonso. This led to questions like, what if a longer contract had been offered? Would Alonso have stayed with the team? Alonso said that he was unsure about that. Both parties had a difference in opinions and principles. It wasn't only about the agreement on the duration of the contract, but the trust the racer felt and what they thought about the environment around them. In the end, he mentioned that he was sure he'd made the right decision because Aston seemed to be eager to have him and also appreciated every performance he's put up in the previous 2 years. Finally, why Fernando chose Aston Martin as his next team. People were rather surprised at Alonso's decision to join Aston Martin of all of the teams available, seeing as they have made a rather disappointing performance this year. They have only 20 points, which leaves them above only Williams in the constructors' standings. Alpine, on the other hand, is competing with McLaren for 4th place, the answer to which team's more desirable is rather obvious. but Alonso is sure that Aston has a lot of potential and will be challenging those at the front of the grid soon enough. He did say that there was surely a risk in this decision, but there was a risk in every decision in F1 because no one can see what the future holds. Still, in every sport, there are only two possibilities: you win or you don't. It doesn't matter what position you're currently in. Even if it's second, as long as you're not first, you're not the winner. And of course, every F1 racer is there to take that top spot, and so they have to take risks for a good opportunity to reach that goal. And of all the possibilities on the table for him, he was sure he'd chosen the right one. He thought that the team had some ingredients for the future he was sure was synonymous with success in the Formula One world. Investment usually leads to a better chance at winning, and he was hoping that he could help shortcut the time Aston needed to reach the top and make the team very fast next year already. Now, in other news. First off, Verstappen's tear-off causes trouble for Charles Leclerc. Leclerc's chance at charging through the pack at the Spa, earned thanks to his engine grid penalty, was ruined when he had to pit on lap 3 after he saw smoke rising from his right front brake duct. While changing tires at the stop, Ferrari discovered that the smoke had been caused by a visor tear-off getting stuck in his brake duct. This triggered large amounts of overheating due to the airflow to the disc brake being blocked off. In the past, this has sometimes forced cars to retire from races. After Ferrari examined the inboard footage to deduce where the tear-off came from, they found that after Lewis Hamilton's car in the pack started throwing out the water and other fluids, like many other drivers, Verstappen removed his tear-off. This later got stuck in Leclerc's brake duct. Next, Max Verstappen has broken a 62-year-old record. Max Verstappen has already made a good number of legendary performances, but the 24-year-old's consecutive wins in Hungary and Spa have broken a 62-year record. This makes him the second driver in the history of Formula One to gain back-to-back victories from 10th or lower on the grid, and it's the first time it was achieved since 1960. The only other driver to have this achievement was Bruce McLaren when he won the United States Grand Prix from 10th in 1959 and then the 1960 season opener from 13th in Argentina. Lately, Verstappen has been thriving in races, winning from 10th in Hungary and 14th in Spa. This extended his advantage in the driver's standings to 93 points. This is Verstappen's 9th win of the season, with 8 races still remaining. Finally, Lewis Hamilton admits fault in Alonso accident. Regarding the crash on the first lap at Spa with Fernando Alonso, which catapulted Hamilton into the air at Les Combes, the Briton has accepted full responsibility. The former McLaren teammates leapt past Sergio Perez at the race start in Belgium and were competing for second place while heading towards the turn 5-6 chicane at Spa. Alonso had the inside line and Hamilton intended to brake late and pass around the outside, but he tagged Alonso's tires, which catapulted him into the air. After he crashed down, he attempted to continue but was unable to keep it up and recorded his first retirement of the season. The 7-time world champion admitted that the fault for the crash lies with him. When a reporter asked Hamilton if he thought he gave Alonso enough room, Hamilton said that, looking back at the footage, he did not. He said that he was in his blind spot and he didn't leave enough space. So that's his fault, and he's very sorry to the team. In the wake of the incident, Alonso called Hamilton an idiot, saying he only knows how to drive and start first. Hamilton brushed off Alonso's comments, saying that it was his fault. He couldn't see him. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think of these crazy theories? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.